Somebody shot my dad. I get the killer mentality. I come from murder and tragedy. Single burn home and family. Do this shit for my whole family. I'ma go get me a Grammy. You know that I'm missing you, Granny. Backbone to my whole family. That, people in those type of positions, they need to be able to talk to someone too, right? They're not exempt from talking to that therapist or that counselor, right? Because my biggest fear, Tony, is that they bring in their personal baggage into the professional world. When in return to that, your personal baggage and how you feeling that day can affect someone else's freedom. You know what I mean? And I've worked with, a couple of POs myself, through the program, and they did phenomenal jobs. But a lot of conversations that we had together was, they said they leave their personal feelings and business at home. You know what I mean? And they said they talk to people, they talk to therapists, twice a week. So they get that baggage, off of their shoulders, right? Yeah. And that what scares me is when it comes down to law enforcement in general, are they getting the necessary help that they need, right, to do their job the correct way, right?
Nah, and you know why they can't.
Spot on.
A lot of times they can't go, like, even if they wanted to, when they go get it, it's seen as they get stigmatized on their job for getting it. So even though they might want to go get the therapy, a lot of them don't go to, so they'll go to their pastor, right? And this is no criticism of churches, but I think a lot of times people, when they have no alternative, they rely on the church, for counseling. Church is not often prepared to deal with the many mental health issues that people have. Spiritually, cool, right? But from a mental health standpoint, not so much. But what you'll find in the research is that they'll go to their pastor because they can keep that quiet. But they think that going to their pastor will actually help them. And what I want to say about that is, from a personal standpoint, to say, like, my brother did that. Like, he went to his pastor to talk about his mental health issues and ultimately ended up, taking his own life, right? Because he didn't go to a mental health professional. He thought, all right, I think if I could go to my pastor and talk about, my pastor walk me out of this. That's not always the case. And I want to get that across to so many people, like, that's not going to save you. Understand? So, I think a lot of to these officers' credit, in their defense, I'm probably last person to go on the line and defend a lot of police officers, but I will say that, on the job that they work with the whole concept of toxic masculinity and having to present this facade that they want to go talk to somebody, but if they do, that's going to be a blemish on their record. Like, then sergeant going to be like, oh, you might be a little crazy.
So let me ask you this then, Doc. Is it safe to say, if it's too hot in the kitchen, get out the motherfucker?
I mean, true. Or to change the way that you even approach mental health on that job. Like, in the same way, with the trauma that we work, traumatic situations we work in, like, we even seen it in ourselves when we did our own little we conducted our own little seminar. We were asking people around the table, had they ever dealt with their trauma? That's all in trauma units that we work with, and everybody was silent. Nobody was like, nah, yeah, I go to
I think that goes back to the self-accountability part when it came to the officers, right? If you know you got issues and you know that something not right, you know what I mean, go get help. That's self-accountability at its finest. Fuck what anybody else thinks. You know what I mean? You need help as a person, right? And it's the same motherfuckers who carrying the guns that's killing people, right? Yeah. I mean, look at the kid. I forgot which state. Look at the kid or the guy who got shot in his back. What was that? 6-7 times.
Yeah, Jason. Right? His name Blake. Yeah, Jason Blake.
But I think right, and I think it goes back to the whole concept of why I always try to talk about structural violence, because structural violence is when you engage in practices that are preventable harm or avertible deaths. So when the system is engaging in practices when they know that they could prevent somebody from dying or avert it, but they allow that shit to happen because they allow some wild ass cop who already got like 58, 59 citations against violations against him, know that he's totally off his rocker going out there with a gun. That's violent. Even before they allowed him to shoot the person 7 times, allowing him to be on that job is a form of violence.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely.
So we got to jump to, we're gonna run through this 2-minute drill with these clips for you. We're gonna give you 2 minutes to answer every single clip that you see. Let's roll them.
OTL Mafia music. I don't really do the computers. I'm in the street with the movers. I'm on the block with the shooters. I'm